watching continuing coverage of the Rally for Education on CBS 17.
Well, I really believe that if we want to change North Carolina and change our society, we really need to invest more in our students. And as a teacher of over 7 years, I want to see that positive change go on.
Well, you saw it right there. Downtown Raleigh is red right now. Tens of thousands of teachers rallying for higher pay and more funding for schools.
We have been following teachers as they march through downtown to Halifax Mall, and that's where our team coverage begins right now with CBS 17's Angela Taylor.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Tanaya. Well, we are here. The march is officially over. You can see, though, all the educators and their supporters and their family members here. They're getting ready for that rally, which starts in about 30 minutes. We know the second speaker, the second person to take the podium, will be Governor Roy Cooper, who supports what these teachers are doing here today. You know, they're asking for a higher pay. They're asking for more staff, like mental health counselors and psychologists. They want to restore funding to pay teachers more who have an advanced degree, and of course expand Medicaid. There are 5 main reasons why they are here. Now, we did talk to organizers, that is the North Carolina Association of Educators. They tell us the crowd is about the same size as it was at last year's rally, which they say is about 20,000 people. Again, right now they are just hanging out. In about 30 minutes is when it officially gets underway. Then about 1:30 they'll be able to meet with their regions. We'll have much more on that coming up in just a little bit. But let's check in with CBS 17's Russ Bowen, who's also here at Halifax Mall, just on a different side. Russ, what's happening where you are?
Well, it's a little clearer on this side. We moved over here so we could hear a little better and hear our interview a little bit better, to be frank. While there's a lot going on that stage just a few hundred yards ahead of me right now. Angela, you just mentioned something about counselors, so I think that's a super important topic, and we've, of course, got a counselor with us right now who's going to tell us why. So, first of all, tell me your name, tell me where you work, and tell me exactly what you do.
My name is Sarah Morales. I'm a school counselor at McDougall Middle in Chapel Hill.
So we were just talking about the need for school counselors, psychologists, school nurses. Talk to me a little bit about where that hole is within the system of not having enough.
I think right now the hole is within schools and also outside of schools. Today we're advocating not just for resources for our school systems, but also resources for our children in the state who need mental health care in school and also outside of school too.
And you're on the ground, truly, when it comes to mental health. Are a lot of things missed that parents don't see that you guys are finding?
I think kids in general and parents too need a lot of support, and we have issues all the time with insurances having co-pays that are too high, so families can't afford to get the additional support that they need, just to make sure that everybody in the family's emotional needs are taken care of.
And of course, there's special education in terms of how you guys are prepared to be counselors in schools. Talk to me a little bit about how that might be different than, say, a primary school teacher.
So counselors and social workers and school psychologists as well need graduate degrees in our field. And so we're providing academic support, we're providing social emotional support, and also career development assistance for kids in schools. Social workers, nurses, counselors, we're all there really to make sure that kids are getting not only their academic needs met, but also that they and their families have the support that they need to be the best students and the best future citizens that they can be.
And on a more personal level for you guys, I mean, when you say that you have to have a graduate degree, that's a lot of student loans for a lot of teachers, right?
Yes, it is. It's a lot of student loans, and we're lucky that right now our state still recognizes graduate degrees for professions that require them to practice, like school counselors, but it's really important, and I've seen firsthand that going back to school to get a master's degree makes a big difference for the way that teachers teach, and so the idea that a teacher would spend money out of their own pocket to pay for that degree to really be the best in their field and then not be compensated for it, that's a really sad thing that our state has come to.
And before I let you go, I have to bring up something that is still, of course, very raw and emotional for a lot of folks in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area after that shooting at UNC Charlotte that killed 2 people, others still recovering in the hospital. Does that remind you that the need for counselors is even greater than what a lot of people realize?
Yes, so ASCA, which is our national organization, recommends one counselor for every 250 students. In our district, we're lucky. We have pretty close to that ratio in many schools, but other districts across the state have way more students per counselor, and when you have that many kids per counselor, you're not able to get to know each child individually. So it's really important that there be people who can look for warning signs and can intervene earlier to hopefully stop something like that from happening in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And get some water. It's hot out here. We're standing over here by a nice breeze that's actually man-made, but thank you for that incredible perspective from someone who lives it every day. We're going to go to Michael Highland now. Michael, where are you and what are you seeing?
We are at the top of the legislative building looking down on where you all are at Halifax Mall. I'm going to step out here so you can get a shot and get a good look at the crowd that's out here, the thousands of people who have come to this rally today. Most of them are spending the day outside, but for the ones who are coming inside to the legislative building, the Republicans have put up posters around the building trying to call attention to what they see as the positive steps they've taken to try to help in the classroom. They point to the raises that teachers have received over the last several years and the overall funding they've put toward education. Of course, there are people out here who are saying that they have not done enough. I talked to State Senator Ralph Hayes earlier. He's criticized what's going on here as essentially a political rally to support Democrats. The head of the NCAE, Mark Jewell, he had said one of the key outcomes of last year's rally was to break the Republican supermajority here in the legislature. Here's part of the conversation I had with Senator Hayes earlier today. They'll point out that they don't make up for that time they weren't getting raises. They're still paying out of pocket for supplies. Do you think those are issues you all need to be addressing in the next couple of years?
Well, I think we will continue to address just as we have over the last few years. I think comparative to any other groups you look at, teachers have fared very well in our budget process. We've done a very good job, or as compared to the private sector, we've done a good job over the last 5 years of raising teacher salary, moving it closer to the national average from one of the lowest in the nation. And we've really made that focus, and we're looking at getting more money into supplies.
He lives in the western part of the state and said he had not heard from teachers in his district who are coming to the rally and plan to meet with him, though we do know that the teachers here have reached out to senators and representatives here to schedule meetings throughout the day to talk about some of their concerns. This comes at a key time, of course, because we're starting to get more details about the budget proposals, and over the next couple of months, we'll see the House and the Senate competing plans come together as they try to get something to the governor that he could support, potentially be done here at the end of June. Angela, we'll send it back to you.
All right, that was our Michael Highland. Michael, thank you. Again, most of the teachers that we've talked to today say it's not about a pay increase for them. It's really just about their students and making sure they're being taken care of in the classroom. And they're asking that there be less testing, more supplies, and that they're getting a hot meal every day. I have a teacher with me here. She does special education in the Durham County School District. Your name is Adina?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me some of the problems that you face as an educator.
Where to start? I mean, as a special educator, I don't just teach the kids. I do paperwork. I have to schedule meetings. I have to do testing. It feels like sometimes I'm literally being taken advantage of as a teacher. And it's like they put so much demand on us, but then they don't compensate us, or they don't really appreciate what we do. Right. It's like sometimes, like, I'm afraid even if I'm sick, if I take a sick day, like, I feel like, you know, I'm not necessarily missing out, but I feel like I'm abandoning my responsibilities when really I should be taking care of myself.
Right. Now, were you allowed to have the day off, or did you have to pay for a substitute?
So basically, we did have to fill out a leave form. And so basically what we had to do is like take a personal day, and if we weren't going to come into the building that day, we had to let them know, or, you know, sometimes we had to like make up that time or do something else so we won't lose that day.
I'm going to grab your sign. It blew over. It's a little windy out here, but show me. I thought it was interesting. You said teachers need to be paid more. Meanwhile, for extra income, you can drive, and you're actually a Lyft driver.
Yes, ma'am. I am.
And look, she even puts her promo code there so you can help her out.
Yes. So yeah, if anybody's interested in driving Lyft, you can use my promo code, which is Adina, ADINA 45763.
When I saw that, I thought you were joking around, like it was just, you know, a nice sign, but you're saying this is your reality.
Yes, this is my reality, and honestly, sometimes as a special education teacher, I don't even have time to do that part-time job that I need.
Well, we appreciate you coming and talking to us. Good luck. We hope that you guys get what you need this next school year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Again, we told you that the organizers of the event said there's about 20,000 people here. The rally starts in about 15 minutes at 12:30. If you can look over that sea of red, there's a white tent there. That's where it's all going to take place. Now, just imagine when this is all over, all of these people have to head out. So it could be a little bit of traffic congestion. Let's check in with meteorologist Aaron Clanahan with more on that. Aaron.
You are definitely right, Angela. Later on today will likely be very chaotic downtown. Right now, there's definitely some light to moderate traffic in the area. We have some road closures still in place until 5 p.m., if not a little bit longer than that, just depending what takes place this afternoon. But Jones Street, Edenton Street, Morgan, and South Streets are still closed between Salisbury and Wilmington Streets. There's also a little bit of traffic on 401 as you head into downtown Raleigh. And then Fayetteville Street is blocked off as well, and that's between Morgan and Lenore Street. So you saw how many people were out there this afternoon. I suggest avoiding the area if you can. And I would also give yourselves plenty of extra time later on this evening for your evening commute if you are going to be taking I-40 anywhere near South Saunders Street. Bill.
All right, thanks, Aaron. We're also seeing a tremendous amount of traffic on Twitter as well. I want to go ahead and show you some of the tweets that have been popping up since even before the rally began this morning, starting with Indivisible NC District 9. Today, we stand behind our hardworking and dedicated public school teachers, and they make their voices heard in Raleigh. Let's jump right here to Representative Ashton Clemens, who wrote, kindergarten teacher takes NCGA. Then a number of different organizations. Please stop by for a high five, snack, water, charge from your phone. We cannot wait to hear from you. And then we got another one real quick before I wrap here. You can see more links being posted by teachers like Taryn Stock showing that she was getting ready to head down to that rally earlier this morning. Tanaya?
All right, thank you, Bill. Again, if you are out there, tag us on your social media posts. We would love to see that. All right, well, switching gears now. 2 people killed, 4 more injured when a man walked into a building at UNC Charlotte and just started shooting. Now we have details and a look at what's happening today on campus. Plus, our team coverage of the Rally for Education right here in Raleigh continues when we come back.
And welcome back. We are live at Halifax Mall in about 15 minutes. The official part of this education rally will get underway. It's taking place right there underneath that white tent. We know that Governor Roy Cooper will be the second person to take the stage. Of course, he is here in support of all these teachers and educators. They have 5 specific demands, one of them being a 5% raise for school employees and a 15 minimum wage for certified staff such as cafeteria workers. And they're also looking to reinstate benefits for future hirees. Again, 5 main things that they're looking for. We talked earlier with NC State Superintendent Mark Johnson. He is not in support of the rally. He feels like these teachers need to be in the classroom and not allowing the kids a day off. We'll have much more from him coming up throughout the afternoon and into the evening. But for now, about 20,000 people, that's what organizers are telling us. In this sea of red, about 20,000 people here to support this rally for education. And again, in about 15 minutes, we'll hear from the organizers as they take the stage. Live in downtown Raleigh, Angela Taylor, back to you.
All right, thank you, Angela. Well, students at UNC Charlotte are going to hold vigils tonight for the victims of a shooting that happened on campus yesterday evening.
We know that 2 people have died, 4 others are injured. Police say 22-year-old Tristan Terrell, seen right here, walked into a building on campus and started shooting. Officers very quickly ran into the building and arrested him. CBS 17's Colleen Quigley joining us live now on campus in Charlotte, where a lockdown was lifted earlier this morning. Colleen.
Yeah, guys, we've seen a lot of students walking around. We're actually outside the Kennedy building where that deadly shooting happened. And both here in the library, we've seen kids going up to the police officers, standing guard outside the building. And minutes later, the officers come out with backpacks or lunch boxes, things those students left behind when they went running for safety after hearing those gunshots here yesterday evening. Of course, as you said, we know 2 people were killed, 4 others were hurt, 2 of them actually from our area, from Apex 1. Drew Piscaro is a student here at this school. He's in a fraternity, but he's also the writer for the campus paper. He's a sports writer. His family is asking people to use the hashtag #DrewStrong on social media as he continues to recover. Now, the suspect in the shooting, he is 22-year-old Tristan Terrell, facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of murder. Sources are saying that he made a full confession to investigators at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Now, again, we know this happened, this deadly shooting, just before 6 o'clock last night. Police say Terrell went into the Kennedy building armed with a pistol. He started shouting and began shooting randomly. That's according to witnesses. Now, as you guys said, we know there's going to be a vigil here on campus at 6 o'clock. Students are being asked to wear their Niners pride gear, all their green, to show some support. We're also expecting another update at 2:30 from the city and the school, as well as police, with the very latest on the investigation. Reporting live in Charlotte, Colleen Quigley, CBS 17 News.
Colleen, thanks. We first brought you breaking news about the shooting through the CBS 17 News app, and we will continue to post updates there and on CBS17.com.
Well, there's a lot of things happening today across the Triangle, and thankfully we're seeing nothing but sunny skies across the area. It is a little warm, though.
It is toasty. You're taking a live look right now behind us at I-40 near Cary. The sun shining down on traffic. Now let's get to CBS 17 Storm Team meteorologist Paul Hagan. What kind of temperatures at this noon hour?
We're right now in the upper 70s and sorting through a lot of conflicting information, so we'll continue to sort that out as we get closer to the weekend.
All right, thank you, Paul.
Coming up, thousands of teachers continue to fill the streets of downtown Raleigh as we speak. Our live team coverage of today's education rally continues.
But that's not the only thing happening in Raleigh today. The Hurricanes back at home for Game 3 of their second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Everything you can do at PNC Arena before that game even starts, next.
Just a couple of hours, it is going to be very loud inside PNC Arena.
That's right. The Hurricanes back at home for Game 3 of their Stanley Cup playoff series against the Islanders. You get this pretty cool towel right here with our lovely CBS 17 logo, and it says bunch of jerks. So you're going to want these. The team won their first 2 games in New York to take a 2-0 lead in that series before returning home. So that means they've won 4 in a row. Take a look right now at the schedule they posted on Twitter earlier this morning. Parking at PNC Arena opens at 1 o'clock, so in about 30 minutes. There's a party on the South Plaza at 4:30. Doors open to the arena at 5:30. Puck drops for this game at 7, so good luck to them. And, of course, the Canes fans aren't the only ones wearing red today here in Raleigh.
You are taking another look in downtown Raleigh. Here it is live. Thousands of teachers demanding better pay, demanding more funding for their schools. Our team coverage of today's Rally for Education continues next at 12:30.
You're watching continuing coverage of the Rally for Education on CBS 17.
Thousands of teachers from all across North Carolina are in Raleigh right now rallying for higher pay and better funding for schools.
Now, we have brought you team coverage of today's Rally for Education all morning long, and that continues right now with CBS 17's Angela Taylor. Angela, you have been down there all morning. What's happening there now?
Yeah, I have been down here all morning. Now, the rally is expected to officially get underway at 12:30, which is right now. We know that Mark Jewell, the president of the North Carolina Association of Educators, will be the first one to speak, followed by Governor Roy Cooper. Now, organizers of this event tell us about 20,000 people are here. We know that's amongst the 33 school districts that closed across North Carolina. That includes 4 charter schools. Now, I want to bring in a very special teacher. This is Emily Richardson. She's actually a speech therapist. Emily, thank you for being here. Talk to me about the struggles you face, because you're not a teacher, you're still a part of the staff.
Correct. I mean, I'm still an educator. I work with over 55 students, and I'm here today because of those children, those students, my own children. I'm here for me, I'm here for you. You know, a strong public education system supports all of us.
Tell me really the one thing that you would say is lacking at your school within your classroom?
I mean, there's so many things, there really are, but class size is so overlooked and it's so important, and we're just being told that there's not a lot that can be done about that right now. My 9-year-old daughter sat in a class with over 30 students in it.
30 students?
30 students as a fourth grader, and it only increases from there. And so that, there are so many things that really need to be addressed.
And you're a speech therapist, so you definitely have a specialty here.
Right. I mean, and there are so many specialties as far as the school counselors, the school psychologists, the special area teachers, a first grade teacher that specializes in teaching those young 6-year-olds, a high school chemistry teacher that specializes. Everyone has their own unique path. And there are a lot of decisions that are being made that make it look to the public eye